Welcome to another episode of the Wood Couture podcast. Today we are recording live here at the Wood Couture office in Dubai, and I have the massive pleasure to welcome my dear friend Joe Tabet, the owner and managing director for JT Partners. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to be here, to be honest.
For those friends that do not know Joe, I would say, and if you put his name in Google, there's more than 20 pages, and each page is about full of 10 advertisement, interview, track record, project. When you get to page 18, they still talking about Joe Tabet. So say no more. It is a lifelong experience, and back in 2002, you were sending 75 of your CVs to 75 companies. Today you have more than 70 people, and I'm sure you're doing more than 75 projects. So let's go back to that day of your 75 CV. Where it all started?
Yeah, it started when I decided to come to this part of the world with $500 in hand. And the first months it was really tough. So I came here, and the second day I landed looking for a job. My sister used to live here. On the second day, they released her from her work, so we ended up, both of us, without work. And I submitted the CVs. At that time, you need to go to Emirates Post and put the letter and wherever. So I started getting replies, and was from good companies, but I wanted the creme de la creme of the companies, because I didn't leave my country and stuff like that for me not to build the right experience. So I only had in my pocket $500, but still I was stubborn that I want creme de la creme. It's not any company, it's not getting anybody just work. I said, no, I'm ready to finish the $500 and go back home. So it happened that the month finished. I got job offers from small companies, but I said that it's not gonna fulfill what I'm looking for. On the day of the travel, I got a call from the international company where I worked for 13 years. And they told me, we want to see you on Sunday. I told them, I'm traveling today, and maybe next time. That's I lost interest. You reach this level of at your life where it's not meant to be mine. Then the guy told me, at that time in 2000, we used to have the weekend on Thursday, Friday. And we used to have half Thursday. So it was a Thursday when he called me. He said that today we'll work till 2 o'clock. I will wait for you to come. And it was in Abu Dhabi, the beginnings. So then I went there, and by mistake I went there. And I got the job. And I started working, and I remember from the first 2 weeks, they came to me and they said that we waived your probation period. We are happy to have you on board. And that was the whole story, how I started. And then I did become the boss of my boss twice.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a long story. Then I have the opportunity to deliver the Address Hotel, and then to run a big team, and to build a name, and to have a good reputation. 13 years later, I decided that it's time to make a move. Because at that age, 41, it's either you will make the move and become having your own business and move forward, and you become the new entrepreneur in town, or you're going to end up being, for another 15 years, an employee doing very well. So it was that level. I was doing very well, but that's not what I was looking for. And at that moment, I believe I went through some tough time, losing my brother and father within a period of 6 months. So I needed to boost my energy. I was too much in my comfort zone thinking about death, you know what I mean? So I boosted my energy. I resigned from Atkins. That's the only way I boosted I could boost my energy. And the story of JT and Partners started. And from there, I remember the first time I met my client in India, where I told him I'm leaving Atkins and I hope we will build a relationship together on a business side. He told me, you're gonna be very successful because you know how to turn your clients to become your friends. And he was the first one to give me the first project for a big amount. And that's how it, and it's been 7 years, we've been 7 years working on the same project.
Wow.
It's one of our continuous projects. And I start realizing that I'm not only a designer, I'm also a businessman, an entrepreneur. I didn't find that, I couldn't understand it before. So when I sit with our accountant or the finance director and he tell me that the way you're engineering the accounting and then keeping the business at zero debt and everything, that comes from an experience. I don't know, it doesn't come from experience, it comes from a logic. It's the vision. So we started. It's a long story, but that's how that 75 CVs led to where we are today.
So let's start with the first part. 13 years with Atkins, but the interesting part of your 13 years, you went to the very top very quickly, in relatively short of time compared to any normal human being. So why? What was the secret to get to the very top that quick?
I moved very quickly in position in Atkins. To be honest, I was myself. It was myself. I remember when the first 3 weeks and the managing director came to me saying that we are really proud to have you on board and we waived your notice period. I remember I called my mom, I told her, listen, it's either I'm too good, that they appreciated my work that much, or they're really bad. It's either they are really bad or I am too good, you know what I mean? It's just, look, I suffered to do my architecture studies. I landed here with a big debt in US dollars. In order to finish my studies, I had to get loans. But I always felt that architecture is something built in. And that's where I felt it. Even there was like at a stage where my dad, he was bankrupt and he couldn't pay for the university. And I come from a French background, French university. So the master's in architecture, it was like 6-7 years. So, and I was in a private university, so you need to pay. So that's where the whole story started. So you reach at this level where money is needed. And then I reached at a level where, okay, let it go, architecture. Let me go to the real life, work, make money, and look at it. There was always something in me saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Keep going, keep going, keep going. So I went and I finished architecture. I was on a big debt. I started with $4, working for $4 an hour. And that was a nightmare, to be honest. That was really tough. Working like 200 hours, 250 hours just to make the $1,000, you know what I mean? To be able to pay the debt. And it was, then I decided to come here. So maybe all this, and not to forget that I come from Lebanon and they call us we were born born at the war time in 73 and all this war, that whatever. So me remembering all the nights where you will be sleeping at the age of 9, 10, and then suddenly you wake up and you need to run. And you hear your mom saying, just go down, run. They're bombing us, So all these things will make things into your personality and character. And I believe that that's where it's either you go right or you go left. So either you'll get depressed and then your life will become miserable, or that will be the moment where you feel that I'm not meant to be here, and you start fighting. I remember in the old days, during the war, I see the airplanes, passenger airplanes. I look at them and see that how lucky the people they are there that they have the freedom to travel. For me, that was the freedom, huh? To be on a plane, it was a freedom. So all these acts that happened and things that happened in my life, and moment and experiences, it created the base of JT, of Joe, myself as a person. So when I had the opportunity to hit my career life, I just wanted to grab it because I suffered enough. And I grabbed it at from a different perspective. And it's being an architect, it's like an artist, you know, you're Italian and a couture. So all this, you need this creative approach, and being a personality, it's a character. Being an architect is a personality, it's a character. It's not about knowing the small things. It's about what's the vision of this project, how this project is going to change the life of the people living in it at the urban level, at the person level. So from there, things started to grow, and then I moved very quickly to become an executive director, very quickly. But without stepping on anybody. I did it by pushing everybody. And this is what I believe in. And when I reach at design director, at regional director level in Atkins, I always knew that getting rid of my job description to the lower people, lower staff, the second layer, this will take them up, it will take me up. Imagine you reach a level where you meet people that they don't want to grow. You give them responsibility that they don't want, they don't see it. And that's what will differentiate people from other people. That's where you see that we can't all of us be doers, and we can't all of us be leaders. So you need that balance. But unfortunately in life, you have less leaders than doers. And that's where you grab opportunities and you read things differently. And what is more important, when you pass this knowledge to people, it's good to teach people that you need to be different in life. You can be a doer and a leader at the same time. You need to differentiate yourself. And by differentiating yourself is maybe the way clients, they like talking to me, or maybe the way I learned how to manage. Like now, after 49 years, I can say that I'm an architect with a managed ego.
You need ego, right, to keep you going.
You need ego, but you don't want to cross that line where your ego will start damaging you and damaging the team around you. That's where you need to be careful. The most successful architects or designers, anything that it is into art, they will reach this level of success when they are ready to accept that their work to be criticized. You need to be able to accept, to listen. And I enjoy at the moment listening to the junior people in our offices when I tell them, what do you think? What's your opinion? And that's a real moment for me. In the beginning, in the early days, I was like, like this lion or a dog, like, nobody can talk anything. But things will change. Experience. This is experience. As you said it in the beginning, it will become more mature and stuff. And so that's why the growth happened very quickly. And if you flip it on JT and Partners, which is going to be another question, we will discuss
it. Through the early part of your career, who was your mentor? Who did you see as, that is the guy that I respect, or the one, the professional you always talking to as your mentor?
My mentor was my inner me. That inner me that suffered, that was my mentor, to be honest. That person that suffered the war and suffered being young and suffered running from school and hiding behind the fridge, between the wall and the fridge, because you don't know what's happening and stuff like that. And that fear when you are 9 years old and 7 years old and 12 years old, that it's like, look, when you hear the bombs coming on top of you, that sound that they make, it will scare you. So imagine at that age, instead of you being playing, you end up living in fear. No electricity, and I don't say that I am the only person. There's millions of people around the world that they live wars, but that inner me pushed me. That inner me pushed me. That's why I always keep saying that, because in life you go through up and down. You're not always going like that. So whenever I'm down, I always keep saying that I need to go back and take care of Joe, the little Joe, or we call it Giorgio. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's me, the inner me. That because the inner me, or that Giorgio, that personality and character that lived for 49 years, it is the reason behind where I am today.
So, do you know what I like about when you narrate your story, or when you give interviews? You always bring in your mom. You said, hey, I called my mom. And then you said, in November 2014, when I woke up and things were not right, I called my mom. That for me is remarkable, because we all try to be big men, and we never admit that this is very important. You must have a very important relationship with her. Brings back memories. Huh? You are genuine. You are a people person. I can see that. It's very. Yeah, I admire you. It's remarkable. Yeah, I read a few interviews, and the one that I love the most is I woke up one morning in November 2014, and I said to myself, something is wrong in here. And the first thing I did, I called my mom.
I used to call her every day. To wish me luck. And she used to tell me, I wish the sand you hold in your hand, you turn it into gold.
But you did.
So when I called her on that day to have the blessing, on her own, she told me, before saying bye, she told me that the door that's bringing you wind, just close it. Don't worry. I didn't tell her anything more into details. She told me that you need to move on in a way that, and that's it. That was because she's very special.
Of course, mothers are all special, but none of us never had, I say none of us, and say the male part of the business never able to admit, what, we need our moms, we need our personal advisor, that knows us best.
Look, I'll tell you something. It's like the issue is there's a cycle in life. If you go now tell your kids, take care of your mom, you will never know how important is that this person is next to you. They will not listen. And at our turn, we didn't listen.
And of course,
And then we reach at a later age, it was a little bit late age, where we start feeling and that's how important they are. And unfortunately, when you lose them, that's where the big gap in life. I will not call it gap, I call it a void. There's a big difference between a gap and a void. That's mom, when they disappear, when they go from this part of the world, they create a void. Nobody on earth can fill it. Nobody.
Of course, it's they are the pillars of our life.
Yeah.
It's very much. But moving on, it's remarkable, and I think it's just prove who you are. You speak the truth. You're a real person, because whatever you say is real. The emotions cannot be hidden. And so it's important for people to know that, because the same passion you have for your own family, and that is the same passion you transmit in your work. And you are a very people person, because in a lot of your interviews, you talk about, that your team is the most important part of your business. You selecting the right people, gender equality. You're a big advocate of that. But do you think that the industry in general, the design, the creative industry, is doing enough to push the gender equality?
Look, it's not. I'm not a racist person. I don't believe in colors. I don't believe in nationalities. I don't believe in religion. And I don't believe in gender. I believe in equality. That person in front of me, whoever is that person, is made of many things. A character, a personality, and technical knowledge. And this is what I want from him. So, if I feel that this is the criteria and it will end up being a woman, I'm more than happy. It's not because I want to do the push into this direction. It's because I look after quality. And whoever is the quality, whatever is nationality, you're more than welcome. And that's why we have a big diversity in the office, from a nationality and from a gender diversity, and it's very important. To go back to your main question, is the market. You cannot impose it much on people. You cannot go to any company and tell them you want you to recruit 50% of your females or whatever. It is not like that. And at the end of the day, it's up to the candidate. If any female or man, they would like to work on site, it's their call, not my call. You know what I mean? And this is in some of the panels where I was a speaker. We had this debate about these things about women in construction. I said that I cannot impose a woman in construction. She has to impose herself with her qualification. And that's why in our industry as a consultant, 50% of my team, they are females. 50% of management team, they are females. The second person in command is a female in the company. So we don't want. Can I be honest?
Of course, yeah.
That subject of
You're always honest.
Subject of gender and diversity, it's a little bit been taken in the last 10 years for marketing purpose.
Why is that?
Because companies, they have a big budget to spend on CSR, on marketing, and on whatever training, and I don't know. But I believe that if you really want to talk about gender diversity, just recruit. Just recruit the people. Give them the opportunity. Give the opportunity. You can't hide behind your finger. You cannot. We know it. I see it in front of me. I open website and I see that boom, 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 female, male. Then you start seeing. Why? I've been in companies where I attended board meetings. I know what's been said there. You know what I mean? So, things will change with more people that they're coming with the new generation. The new generation, they're gonna change everything we did. Like that.
Let me set you on fire. You're also an advocate and a big believer of sustainable community, making life better for everybody. So, what about sustainability? Do you see that topic the same way you see the topic of gender equality?
Back in 2007, when the whole green building aspects came on board and Sheikh Mohammed announced the green building. So you know that there is a lot of clients, they start pushing green buildings. I remember meeting a client and I want the most sustainable building. I want the most green building on earth. I want. We went and did the research and for 4 weeks. and we gave him all the requirement for green buildings. We went and presented. We finished the presentation. He said, "Where is the green building?" I told him that was all what we mentioned about. He said, "No, green building. I need the building to be green." You know what I mean? That was in 2007. And that's the knowledge that it was around. I'm not saying it the story to make a joke about the person. No, I respect that person. But at that moment, nobody had a clue about sustainability. With all respect. We're all talking about sustainability and none of us knows anything about sustainability. It was again a marketing. Until today, things started to change. Because sustainability, it's at school. Your son will come back home and I will start telling you about the global warming. My son is in grade 7 and he keeps talking to me about global warming. So this is the generation. That's why I keep saying that this is the generation. What we studied the conventional way. What they're studying the future on an earlier level. What we studied the old days. Am I right? What they're studying the future in advance. So imagine what they're going to be doing. It's my son who comes at night telling me that we need to get into NFT and Bitcoin and Dogecoin. He's 13 years old. At 13 years old, we were playing in the forest and jumping the trees. We didn't know what does it mean, computer. So you can imagine what this generation, they're going to do with the sustainability. I hope we will be able to do more nowadays because we are in a powerful position as a consultant. And I hope all the consultants that they are in powerful position to try to take the clients by hand. You need to take the client by hand. You need to teach the client. You need to tell them the story. You need to convince them because nothing is... There's a cost for everything. But keep in mind that the solar panel, when it came 10 years ago, it was more expensive than the solar panel today. And 1 square meter of solar panel 10 years ago used to produce less electricity than the same size today. So we need to implement it in our projects at the urban level. I want to walk, you know what I mean? And this is where I believe that one of the difference in our project, that we don't do all projects, by the way. It's not because we don't want to, but there's projects if the client is not willing to do a change, we don't want to be there. A change for whom? For the end user who's going to live in that project for 60 years. That's where we need to be careful. When you design a project, like anyone around Dubai or around the world, that building, let's call it that concrete building, is going to be there for minimum 60 years. Can you imagine the responsibility that it's on the architects and the urban planner? To say, I'm building that concrete building, that's going to be a disaster for the next 60 years. And this is where I keep in my talks pushing everybody that for me and my peers in the market, we need to talk together. We need to see, but the problem is there is a lot of tension in the market and competition. We didn't reach a level where we are ready to share knowledge and experience. Everybody is still living in his bubble. Because I'm better than you, and you are better than me. We are still there. Imagine where we are. We're still very, very low. We didn't reach that level to joint effort and then do things differently and then push on the municipality to put some good regulation and then have an urban plan for... You need an urban plan for the whole Dubai. If you're talking about Dubai, you need a vision that goes for the next 50 years. And we can't keep... I know I keep repeating this, everybody hates me for that, but you cannot build 3 biggest malls in the world next to each other within 5 minutes by car. You cannot do it. Because the success of Dubai Mall 10 years ago, it might not be successful in 5 years ago, in 5 years' time, because the end user behavior is changing. Online, People, they would like to have this community malls now that we're designing 2-3 of them than being in a mall and thousands of cars and whatever. So this is where there is no vision. There is competition even between developer. Can I say it? Dubai Mall and the Creek Harbor Mall and Maidan Mall, they are 3 biggest malls in the world. Imagine, you can go around them by 10 minutes by car. Elsewhere in the world, you need to travel to see the next big mall. So that's where I'm worried, where this emotional growth on construction and development, what might hit us in the future. Empty mall? Or what? What's gonna be? How much the consumer is gonna be involved in too many malls next to each other? In my opinion, that you don't need any mall in this big mall here. What you really need, you need to start stretching the city towards the desert and towards Jabal Ali. You want to spread it. So, and not to forget, there was the biggest mall, the mall of the world, coming opposite to Emirates Mall. Imagine the amount of wrong planning that urban planners. Look, our job is to, we're a consultant, advisor. You come to consult me, that's my name. You don't come to me to tell you, yes, sir. So this is your responsibility as a designer, urban planner, whatever, is to sit in front of your client, be honest with him, and tell him what's good for him, for his project, for his visibility, for his revenue, and for his city, and the social life. It has to be any small building, it has to fit at the urban level.
The success of your company, JT and Partners, is unstoppable. Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Morocco, Greece, Portugal, Seychelles, Ethiopia, you name it. We can stay here all night talking all the countries you're working on. And you are involved in a lot of hospitality projects. With the same passion you were sharing your thoughts and experience on the urban planning, where do you see hospitality design going? Or what is missing in the hospitality design business?
It's a chaos at the moment. I'm being honest. Because everybody is trying to do something. From camps, modular, lodges, same conventional, everybody is trying everything. At the end of the day, the purpose of a hospitality project is what? That's where we're gonna go back, all of us. It's a hotel. What's a hotel? It's about your bed, not the room. It's about the bed and about the facilities at the lower level. These two things, if they are next to each other or on top of each other, whatever, it's not gonna make that difference. What's gonna make difference, I believe, is the location itself. So we can see it in here in this part of the world with the big number of rooms that's coming. But Dubai is a major city, like Singapore and other big cities where you put 50,000 rooms, you're gonna fill them because you have a lot of events close to each other during the year. You have exhibitions. So worldwide, there is a big demand in Africa, by the way, for hospitality project. There's a big gap in Africa. There is a big gap. Now we can feel it, and you can see it in Saudi Arabia that it is happening. So there's gonna be always these new areas that they have this gap for the conventional way. Then you need to go for the other sector where the people that they are more into resorts or activities or camping, that you're gonna give them that niche experience. The niche experience is my worries. When it starts to happen everywhere, that's my worry, to be honest. Because like a niche experience, you really go to Zanzibar and a really nice place where in a beautiful forest, you walk 2 minutes between the trees and you are on a most beautiful beach there. This is a niche experience. But when you want to do it everywhere, that's a bit of concern. And you know, hospitality, It's a demand and supply. That's the whole story. The beauty is that what we tried to do recently, how we can learn from the recession that happened back in 2008 and from the COVID period, how we can build a project, modular project, and digitally connected with IoT, the Internet of Things, that I can change the modules, the Lego, in a tower, which is a hotel. Suddenly there is a pandemic, or there is hotels are not doing well. You start taking the modules off-site, and then you refurbish and then put them back, and then suddenly you have an apartment building. So these things where we're working on research, and they can be done, it's very easy, very easy. So imagine that one of the main thing in a hotel, when you refurbish the hotel, every 7 to 10 years refurbish, you shut down or whatever. If you have this Lego system, you don't shut down. You just take them one by one, finish it, put them back, and then your revenue of 1.5 years of shutting down, doing refurbishment, it will not get affected. So I believe this is where we need to think. Where we need to think is that how the hotel can change, how any function can change, how your room can get bigger and smaller during the day and the night. This is where I believe that the future is gonna come. The flying cars and all these things. This is more, I believe, where it has to be. Because we reached a level in the GCC. You go to any hotel and you say, which brand is this hotel? Because they all look the same. Same lobbies, same colors, same furniture, same materials, same. But any project, including hospitality, it sits in a city, and then it's linked at the urban level with the city, and then the main element and the main whatever, then it starts having a character. The character is not the color of the furniture. It's how this building is adding value on its surrounding. So there's a lot of things. We are still behind, to be honest. I see a lot of people talking, we are still behind, and we're still doing the same way. We're doing a lot of hotels. A lot of hotels. In the last 7 years, in the last 25 years, I did a lot of hotels. I can say that you still sit with technical people and operators, whatever, all of them still talking the same. Yes, they're talking about sustainability, LED, and then water management, and. I believe what you're asking about is further down, is not only this small change. So, a lot to do about the hospitality. It has to reach a level where hotels will become home. Let's see.
Wow. So, with all this, a lot of innovation, clearly, what you said before about your vision of what the futuristic architecture of, and the versatility of hotels, to a new way of looking at healthcare. Although it's only been 7 years, the day that you might think to do something else, because I don't believe you're going to retire one day. You can't retire. How would you like to be remembered?
Look, if you follow all my talks, I keep saying that we have a big responsibility. There is one for the RIBA talk I did, which is an architect, a dictator. People judged me when they saw the announcement, an architect, a dictator. But they didn't understand what does it mean, the meaning of the dictator. Our pencil, as designer and as urban planner, is as strong up to a level. I will tell you how to live. I will tell you where to sleep, where to take a shower, where to dine, where to cook. I will tell you which staircase or lift you need to take to go to your parking. Then I will dictate on you which road to take. This is how, if you read it that way, we have that big responsibility. because the space, it's either makes you happy or unhappy. And this is where I advise all designers and architects to read more about psychology. The psychology of the person, and then how they react to colors, and how they react to spaces, and how they react to natural light. There's a lot of these things. And that's why sometimes you go around saying, is it possible this is built? Nobody realized that this is very aggressive on people. So these things, it's like, I don't want to be remembered that I designed this tower or that building or whatever. But if we will be able to make that change where people, architects and designers, they start thinking differently, I'm happy that they call it the JT way. No, but that's we are dictator, positively. But if you do it wrong, you're still a dictator, but you destroyed everything around you. Everything around you.
I told you, you need to write a book.
Yeah.
The JT way.
The JT way. That's good. You're giving me ideas now.
Yeah, but it's true. So we are at the closure of our discussion. I can sit here forever listening to you, because I know whatever comes out of your mouth is exactly what it says on the tin. So it's very true. It is. You know, as I said, emotion cannot be hidden. So you are very genuine. And so massive white canvas on the top of Burj Khalifa. What would be your message? What would you write on it?
I faced a lot in my life. To be honest, I would just write one word. Enjoy life.
Wow. Says it all, yeah?
Just enjoy life.
It's a big statement.
That big statement, you need to know how to enjoy it. The enjoyment for me, sometimes it comes when I help others. This is enjoyment, because God tells you that I gave you to give. So my enjoyment is when I see people around me happy, when you see your staff happy. When I saw today, we gave salary increase, and I saw the people, their smile, and they're holding their envelopes and stuff like that. So enjoy life, but don't be selfish. There's ways of enjoying life. It has to be the right way. There is always a right way and a wrong way. But this is it, yeah. I went through a lot of personal issues in my life from the day I was a kid. So I lost a lot of moments of joy, by the way. When everybody was playing in the playground elsewhere in the world, I was sitting under the table, worried about many things. And then when I started seeing life, I had to close my debt. You know what I'm saying? So if you have the opportunity to make a positive change and enjoy life and make people happy around you, you just have to do it. Enjoy life. Enjoy life.
Yeah, Joe. Thank you very much, my friend.